You're listening to the Learn English Through Football podcast. Hello everyone, I hope you are all doing well and enjoying all the football. My name is Damien and I am one half of the Learn English Through Football team, and I am based here in London where the weather is finally warming up a little. The other member of the team is of course Damon, and he's back in Tokyo, Japan. We won't be hearing from him today, but hopefully he'll be back early next week with a new football expression.
G'day, my name is Erin, I'm from Brisbane and I'm a West Ham supporter and you're listening to languagecaster.com.
Yes, that message was from a fan of West Ham, and yes, you are listening to the Learn English Through Football podcast. Okay, what football language do we have on today's show? Well, we're going to talk about some of the football language from the final round of games from the 25-26 Champions League group stage, including the phrase bullet header. And we are also going to try a prediction at my favourite team, Tottenham, at home to Manchester City from the Premier League. But before that, here is another stinger or message. We've already had one from the West Ham fan, but do you know what language the next one is in? We will have several of these throughout the show. How many languages can you get correct? And we'll have the answers at the end of the podcast.
Tá tú a géisteacht le languagecaster.com.
Right, as I said earlier, the final set of matches in the Champions League took place earlier this week, and it provided some great games with lots of excitement and talking points. All 18 games were played at the same time, which meant that the league position of each team, or their standings, was constantly changing as the goals went in. Remember, the top 8 sides automatically qualify for the last 16 knockout round, with the top 4 gaining another advantage by playing the second leg at home in that round. The next 16 teams went into the playoff round, though the teams finishing 9th to 16th would have second leg home advantage as well. The 12 teams finishing out of the top 24 would be eliminated. All of this means there was something riding on nearly all of the games. Each game would have an effect on positions in the final table. So, while watching the games, we can see the table constantly changing. A team would move up or down depending on results across the competition. Often we can hear commentators and pundits use the phrase "as it stands" to describe this situation, which means that this is how the league positions look at this moment. Of course, another goal from another game can change the positions again. The table is constantly changing.
Vous écoutez languagecaster.com.
Perhaps the biggest talking point came in the game between Portuguese side Benfica and Real Madrid. Before the game, Real Madrid needed a win to try and finish in the top 8 places and qualify directly for the last 16. Benfica needed a win to try and make the playoffs, so there was lots to play for in this match. Benfica played really well and were leading 3-2 in the last minute, but they needed another goal to make the top 24. From a free kick, their goalkeeper, who had been told to join the attack by the manager Mourinho, rose above the Madrid defence to power home a header. Another way of describing this type of header is a bullet header, because it was so powerful, an unstoppable header. The scenes at the end were amazing, and the 4th goal meant the Portuguese side qualified for the playoffs ahead of French side Marseille. And who will the Portuguese side play in the knockout round? Real Madrid again.
Du lytter til languagecaster.com.
Okay, let's take a look at one of the big games from the Premier League this weekend when champions Manchester City travel to Tottenham. Spurs are not playing well in the Premier League, especially at home, while City need to win to stay in contact with leaders Arsenal. Spurs have played well in the Champions League and finished 4th in the final standings or table, but they can't seem to buy a win at the moment in the league. I'm going for a City away win, unfortunately. Maybe 2-1 to City.
State ascoltando languagecaster.com.
And how about practicing your predictions language with us? What do you think will happen in any games that you are watching this week? What do you reckon will happen? Will your team, for example, have too much for their opponents? Let us know by coming along to our site or on any of our social media sites. You can find us on Facebook, on YouTube, Instagram, and many more. And remember, our website has a huge glossary of football terms with hundreds of expressions, phrases, and cliches about the beautiful game of football. Tell a friend about us and give us a like on your favorite podcast platform.
Merhaba beyler. Ben Türkiye'den Mert. Şu anda Language Caster dinliyorsunuz. Sevgiler.
Yes, that message was in Turkish, so well done if you got that right. How about the others? Well, we had Irish, Italian, French, and Danish, so well done if you got any of those correct. Remember, you can add a message in your language by sending us a recording for the Learn English Through Football podcast. We'd love to hear from you. Right, let us know if you hear or see any of the phrases or words that we have talked about on this week's show, including as it stands and bullet header. How might you say these phrases in another language that you know? Enjoy all the football this weekend, and we'll be back with another football expression early next week. Bye-bye.